Hi folks, last time I was here a couple of days ago, I was showing you around the property and ran out of battery. So I'm going to see if I can attach this to the previous video. So welcome again to my off-grid homestead in Canada. What I'm showing you right now is a shot of the north side of the property, and it's this isn't allowing me to zoom, but if you could see, there's a mountain, if I can call it I'm not sure if I can call it a mountain. It's still a good 2,000 feet up from where we are, and we're already at high elevations. And our property is here. And I'm at the foot of the driveway. As I keep moving, turning it to now the opposite direction, south, there's another mountain way at the end. I wish I could zoom with this, but I don't know how to. So that is also another couple of thousand feet above where we are. And like I was saying earlier, we're already at high elevations here. If I keep turning the camera to our east, is my neighbor's property. But there's another mountain past these trees, which you can't see, but I will try to shoot a video from our yoga studio where it is more visible. Let me just tap on the screen, see if it gives me a... No, it doesn't give me a zoom option. All right, let's go. Just it's a U shape. I made a U-shaped driveway because for a couple of reasons. One, because I don't to keep with a sort of a feng shui style. You don't want the driveway to end at your house. This way the driveway just keeps turning and goes past the house and it comes out the other way. And then another reason is because for ease of getting in and getting out, you just drive in one side and get out the other side. But by doing this, and as you do build your home in the summertime, you forget that come winter you have to shovel this now nearly 300 feet of driveway that you created. Thankfully, so far we have a neighbor who has a big tractor with a blower attachment on it, and he charges a very reasonable rate. Well, he charges us a very reasonable rate, not necessarily everyone, because he likes us. But yeah, he can do it in 10 or 15 minutes what would take me hours to do by hand. I mean, with a shovel, that is to say. And thankfully, the snow in our region, because we're at such high elevations and in the colder region, is very powdery and light. On the other hand, there is a lot of it, a lot of it, and it doesn't melt. It just stays here, and it, every couple of few days gets topped up with more snow. And so, but it's always pristine, pristine and super pure and white, right up until when it melts in, I don't know, April, May. Every year is different. Although it's getting warmer, the trend anyway, it's been that it's getting warmer and warmer every year. So I'm shooting you now. I'm showing you the east side of the property, which is roadside. And now I will take you back to where we left off last time. Oh yeah, I was saying that we got some rain, so the floor, the ground, the leaves, everything. I don't know if you have this beautiful carpet of colorful leaves where you live, but anyway, is wet, and I don't have my rain boots on because it's gorgeous out. It's I would say it's 17 degrees out now. Now trying to figure out which way I took you last time, and so I can take you a different way so you can see a different part. Today I had a really nice email from a lady in Fredericton, which is an hour and a half away from us. She is a holistic practitioner, and she wanted to book our place for a Pilates sort of a workshop, and there aren't too many places like ours, that is to say, in the forest. Hey, do you remember seeing this, what I call my Neptune's fork? It's a yellow birch. And it's about 80 feet tall. But look how it forks like that. Isn't that gorgeous? The very left branch is dead, and it will come down. When it comes down, it will be a true Neptune's fork. All right, let's go. I was inside all day today because at this time of year we get rain off and on. So sun showers, rainbow, every time it rains, every time the sun comes out. And but on the other hand, it makes it for an I guess an exciting time of the year to go for a walk or to be in the forest. Although right now I'm here, as I hope the camera can show you this gorgeous carpet of leaves all around me, and still some trees have their leaves, but they are coming down, and it's a super calm day right now because those leaves are the ones that tremble or shiver even with the slightest bit of wind, and they are not right now. And but we didn't have rain for about 5 weeks, and so the forest floor don't want to say soil. It smells really good right now. Now I want to show you something really cool. I say really cool, but I find everything really cool. And so these leaves come 6 months. What's now? So we're say it's October now. It isn't, but let's say November, December, January, February, March, April. Say by April or May, it will smell really good here because all these leaves would have decayed some. Look at that tiny leaf on top of this plant, still trying to grow, or was on its way up to grow before it got cold enough, I guess, or there was not enough rain for it. So I think I may have shown you this area, but I mean, what's the harm, huh? You're coming with me on a... Okay, this mushroom last time I was here, it was so tiny. Now, let me put my hand next to it so you can see by comparison how much bigger it's gotten. It was very tiny. It was hardly an idea. But some of you know your mushrooms well. You can tell me what they are, or if they're edible or not. Smell good. It just smells with every breath. It's insane. This is what I guess this is what they mean by forest therapy. Let's go. Okay, now we're going back towards the house. We're going up. I guess that's north. And I'll try to just talk only when it's necessary so you can take in the sights. Can you see all these tiny little... That was infused in some leaf. Firs is one. I'm looking at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, that one is really tiny. I don't even know if you can see it. Where there should be really none here because there are other trees here that could benefit from the nutrients that's in the soil. And when those start to get bigger, they'll try to take some of the nutrients. I mean, obviously, and there's only so much. Maybe I should let you listen to the peacefulness of the forest. You see all these trees that are down? I have to process them next year. This year I had enough for firewood and or other projects that I didn't need to process them. And also they take a long time to do. I mean, and oh, here's a branch of a white birch that's down. Like I was trying to say one time, that white birches lose their branches as a defense mechanism so that the whole tree doesn't come down. I just leave it there because it was leaning on something else. Looking around to see where it came from. And I don't actually see the tree that it came from. So it must have come from farther. Well, I have to find... Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it. There it is. And when it came down, it looks like it broke off this poor maple's branch on its way down. But I'll take care of it. Here is a dead fir standing. You see it? How old would that be? I would say that it's roughly 5 years old, and it's starting to annoy, not starting to, it's dead now, but annoy the maple and the white birch that's next to it. And here is a mountain ash. If you've ever, I'm sure you've seen it in the cities. Well, if you live in Canada or States, they have beautiful orange berries, and they don't get that big. They're not. I wouldn't even call them trees. They're more like big bushes. But as trees, they're fairly spindly, and they don't last long for some reason. Here's a little whimsical family of moss. I don't know what they are. It looks like flags at the base of this aspen poplar. It's beautiful, beautiful, almost like a elephant trunk like color and these lines. This is, if I'm not mistaken, aspen poplar is the only tree that, if I can find another one, I'll show you, that has chlorophyll in its bark. And so if I can show you, find one, I'll show you. They have green, like a minty green bark. Oh, here's a tree that is on its way down. You can tell by the mushrooms starting to form. So somewhere in there, even though I'll show you the top of it, by looking at it, you wouldn't know that it's dying. It actually is. And this is good because it's close to the house, and you can see the solar panels on top of it. And this will be obstructing the sun, not now when the angle of the sun changes shortly, as we have been, it has been changing for the past 2 months. And so, yeah, with that coming down, that would be good news for us, and it's guilt-free firewood or for projects. And we can get more sun to the garden, which is that way in the summertime. And now for our it's a butternut tree, I guess. I'm feeling some raindrops. I came out only because they said no rain. Oh, and here's a bigger mountain ash that I was telling you about. See how spindly it is? But it's tall. It's about 30 feet tall, but it's very spindly. It doesn't, I mean, it could get twice as wide as that at the base, but for some reason they never, yep, it's definitely raining. Come on. All right, let me see if I can push my luck by hanging out with you for a little bit, just to see if if the rain stops, because it will start and it will stop. Here is a maple tree that, oh man, can you hear it? Because it's sunny over there, you see? In fact, there's the sun right there. Right there. You can't get mad. You have to laugh. That's life. It's just raining harder and harder now. And I'm too stubborn to go back in. But, you know, if I can angle the sun properly, I can maybe show you a rainbow. Let's look at the sun ray coming down and illuminating that beautiful rain. Anyway, I was talking about this maple. A tree came down last year. It shows how stubborn I am. It's raining harder and harder. Okay, you know what? Let me just take shelter. Yeah, around the chicken coop and hope that the rain will not get any harder. And the chicken coop is has a metal roof like most all the roofs that I put on. It just lasts longer, and it comes in nice colors that you can choose from. But it also sounds nice, doesn't it? Oh yeah, I was talking about that nice lady that was looking to book our place for a Pilates a workshop in the forest. And it's sad because I had always planned to have exactly that kind of people and that kind of workshops and offerings. But it's very expensive purchasing land and building, constructing any construction on it. And so we exhausted our resources, or else we would have had more structures to cater such events. As it is, we can only, and it's not so bad, hold, accommodate very intimate, small, one, two, maybe three guests. Most beautiful time of the year here is the wind and the rain is picking up, and I'm not budging from where I am. The most beautiful time of the year here is right now. Right now. I know it's a rainy day, but it's a glorious, glorious day still. So fall with the autumn leaves falling, and first there a kaleidoscope of colors up in the sky, and then a carpet of them on the ground. So you can probably see some coming down with the wind and the rain. And so yeah, the air is it's not as hot as summertime. There are no bugs or mosquitoes. And it's harvest time. You harvesting is the best time of the year, and all of that amount to it being the best. Ah, now it's really coming down. See, they said no rain till 6. Let's listen to it. it's slowing down, but I'm not going to get excited because sometimes that happens and you think, oh, good, it's done. Now the sun's going to come out, it was the story all day today and at this time of year. And then all of a sudden it picks up again. So we're still going to take shelter. Here we go. Hey, uh-huh. Yeah, fool me once. I'm looking at some oregano that's doing very well at this time of the year, despite not having had any water for 5 weeks and getting cooler at nights. It's doing all right. Okay, it's slowed down again, but because I don't see any evidence of the sun anywhere. Oh, there's a blue sky on the northeast side, but I'm trying to figure out which way the clouds are moving so I can predict whether the blue sky is going to be here. Well, the blue sky is blue sky anyway. If the clouds are going to be here, or if they're moving out of our area. They say, like that saying says, in everyone's life, a little rain must fall. It's the next line that I'm not crazy about. But too much has fallen on me. Do you folks get a lot of rain where you live? We get regular amount. I mean, this 5 weeks that we didn't have rain was very unusual. But then again, the climate is changing. I remember over 10 years ago when we first moved here, the first winter was 6 months long. Yeah, if I'm lying, I'm dying. 6 months long. It wasn't 6 months of snow and minus 30 temperatures. That was more like 3 months. But you know how four season countries, if there's a 3 months of say winter, the first month of it is just getting darker and cooler, and then the second month of it is the frigid times, maybe the most intense and harshest part of the winter, and then the last month of it, we're coming out of it. Well, that took what I described earlier, the 6 months. It took us 6 months to go through that. So 2 months of getting cold and dark, 2 months of harsh winter, and 2 months of coming out of it slowly. Boy, what is going on? Well, I'm hoping you're enjoying this. While you're here, let me just show you that what I was trying to show you before about that, tell you before about that maple. So a tree came down and brought down a maple tree, and it was, I didn't know, and I couldn't do anything about it because it was wintertime for a few months, and so it shaped that maple tree as I'm hoping you can see it as you can see it. I hope it's bent over. It looks like a half circle, like an arch. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to train it to pretty much look like that and become an arch, but as branches in trees want to go upwards, not necessarily downwards. And then that would look like a gorgeous living archway, portal, or whatever you want to call it. for weddings, for pictures, for what even just you think of it as you go through that and you go to another dimension. So that's what I'm working on. And if you can't see it well from here, hopefully if this rain starts, we'll go and have a look at it from closer. And also while we're here, let me just show you one of our compost bins. This is the largest compost bin we have, and this is by evolution my most sturdiest and best made one. So each corner of the four corners has 3 stakes driven into the ground. I just pounded it. Also small trees that were down, and so there's 3, 6, 9, 12 stakes, and then inside of them I make the walls out of the same size sticks, trees, and then soon I'll take you with me. I will come to empty this compost, and then I will remove one wall stick by stick. It won't take any time. There's no nails, there's no screws. They're just resting on top of each other. And then I thought, did I hear thunder? Anyway, let's see, we'll find out soon. And then yeah, so with one wall out, it's big enough. It's something like 3-4 feet wide on each side. Then I can go right in with my shovel and park the wheelbarrow right here, and then load it, one load at a time, and then come back to the chicken coop. And here I have 2 years worth of compost. As you can see, the one on the right is this year's. I say this year's, it started in last October, but I just keep piling on it. And the one on the left of it, if you can see, is 2 years old. So I will come in and get a bucket or 2 of this one. This one's well composted, so this is a year older than what's in the compost bin. And then I will include, as I layer it, maybe some eggshells that I've crushed, comfrey leaves, maybe some mulched leaves that I have in bags back there that I picked up from the town, on people's curbside, and finally some ash, wood ash. Did I get it all right? Yeah, I think that's it. And then I mix that up in my wheelbarrow, and then I go back to those raised beds that I've been showing you, and then I put a layer of about 1 inch on each one. I wish I had more than 1 inch to top up, but there are 33, 34 raised beds, so and each one is long and wide, so they each have to get some. And then once this large compost bin is empty, then I will come and bring all of this fresh, a year old. I mean, it's still fresh, you can see on top, but on the bottom of it, it isn't. Pile, and I will take that into the big bin, big compost bin, and I will layer that with at least a bag or 2 of leaves, large, you know those large leaves I just showed you, wood ash. So it's like a lasagna. So you layer it as you go, and also comfrey leaves, and that's, as I mentioned before, also nitrogen fixing. And that sits there till this time of year ish, October, and then I'll come back and empty it again. So that it just sits there and rests. And unlike the compost that's in the chicken coop, now that is has some open space above it where rain can get to it and wet it, snow can get to it. But I do put those logs that are on top evenly spaced out so there's no open gap there. So raccoons and things don't go and I mean I don't know what the raccoon poop in the forest is not the same as what you would it's not as bad I suppose as what you would find in the city because everything here that they eat is organic matter. It's not like garbage that people have out. Oh, and beyond that, that was our very first outhouse, which was never used as an outhouse. It's a tool shed and also where I store leaves and wood ash and things. A nice guy from BC came when we had just arrived here. He wanted to help us volunteer. It's not so much, but for a low wage, help us at that time build our house, which we had such a difficult time finding people to come pour the concrete and home builders that he stuck around for a month or so, and he kept me as he was driving across country from the other coast to get here. He was emailing me asking me if I want him to rush, and I kept saying no, don't rush. No one's here yet. We haven't got anything. Anyway, we became friends, and we're still in touch. And he built that for us, and we paid him to build that for us, but he didn't charge us a lot. At that time, I didn't know how to build anything. I didn't know which end of the hammer to hold. And so, yeah, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? For now, that is about 9 years old. That little structure there. If I can get close to it, I will tap on the logs, and you'll see that there's no sign of decay or sponginess or squishiness, and it's solid. And so as long as you can keep your structure off the ground even a little bit, and the roof and the overhang also help protect it from rain getting on it, unless there's like wind and rain, which then once the rain stops and the wind is there, it will dry it anyway. Okay, the rain has stopped, but I don't want to go back in the forest because I don't have waterproof uh, clothes on, and stuff's gonna be dripping. Stuff, rain's gonna be dripping from all this vegetation on me anyway. So let's just end it again today, and I will come back. Look how sunny it is over there now. Look at the sky. Look at it. Come on. They said no rain till 6. However, gorgeous shot, isn't it? I just looked at the screen now. I've been looking at the actual scene. Oh yeah, the lady, yeah. So I told her, yeah, basically what our place is basically an off-grid homestead, a humble one, a very humble one, where people come to detox from their technology, gadgets, uh, stressful life, work policies, maybe families, whatever that's stressing them out. And then, so now is the nicest time of the year, and then followed by the springtime, where there's the hope, signifying hope, and green shoots and all the fresh vegetation. And then there's summer and winter. Summer, well, there's summer everywhere. There's nothing spectacular here, just that it's quiet and green, even more green than ever. But winter, too, is amazing here because it's Well, it's very serene, very quiet. The songbirds have all but gone. The only birds left are some crows, blue jays, and chickadees. And but mostly they're very quiet at that time of year. So when you know when we get, like I was saying earlier, we get a fresh, uh, not not even dusting. Sometimes it could be a foot of snow every few days. And so, and because we don't have much of any traffic here, the snow stays very clean and pristine, and all the time. So you have all this beautiful, beautiful, pure snow with the backdrop of evergreens, which are super dark in green, as you can see them. They don't get any lighter. That's it. They keep the, because we're mostly a evergreen, uh, sort of a boreal forest. They're predominantly them, and so they stick out. So dark green and white, and then you have the super blue sky, um, because we're not on the coast. Now, one other thing about the super blue sky means that super clear night sky, which we have for the most of the year, regardless of the season. But in the winter, it's just even more clear, which means that if you go out on a sort of a new moonish time of the year, you can see, I mean, the sky as far as you can see, but the so many stars. It's your eyes don't know which way to go. It's just stars as far as you can see, glittering, sparkling, and if you focus really well, you can see the, uh, what it looks like one larger planet or star, um, is actually a galaxy. And shooting stars. Somebody once, actually from this very angle where I am now, took a took a picture with a regular cell phone, this very angle, and I have it. If anybody wants to see it, I'll email it to you. Maybe I'll include it in this post video, with a regular phone, and it was amazing how how deep dark sky and all these stars, and she may have even managed a shooting star in there if I remember correctly. So yeah, and then snowshoeing, and then at night, once the sun goes down, because nights are long, we get together and cook wholesome meals, either collectively, or I can cook it, or bake even every second day. For me, I love to bake every second day because, I mean, you share it and you don't want it to go stale anyway. And I love baking, so, or and cooking. So, um, play games after, share stories, laugh a lot, and then they get a good night's sleep in. Well, let's listen. Super serene and quiet and solitude. Um, of course, by then they would have been very tired too. And yeah, so re-energize their batteries before going back to wherever they came from. We even had a guest from, only an hour and a half away once, and she was amazed by how quiet it is here. Anyway, thanks for being here. Talk